Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawning on the east side of the map, playing in red, we've got Lucifron playing as the Jushi's Legacy, and his opponent in the southwest playing in blue. We've got loueMT playing as the Byzantines. Welcome everyone to Gorge, and featuring two new civilizations for Age of Empires 4 as part of the Sultan's Ascent DLC. And I don't think I've seen this matchup actually before. I'm pretty excited to see this one because Jushi's Legacy, they do have an incredibly strong economy that can really start to get things online with the Song Dynasty and a two-town centre play. The Song Dynasty actually decreases the cost of their non-military buildings in terms of wood, so they can get that second town centre actually a lot cheaper. Especially if they're kind of boosted by the meditation gardens, that can really help things out. In the southwest though, going up against loueMT's Byzantines, I think they've got a lot of options available to them. Two landmarks that I think separate the two different playstyles that we often see with the Byzantines. You've got the Imperial Hippodrome, but you've also got the Grand Winery, so I'm pretty excited to see what loueMT decides to choose here. Could be either of them, of course. Grand Winery will be giving that little bit of a boost of olive oil from the berries. The Imperial Hippodrome will be giving him access to a lot of new technologies for cavalry. I don't think I've seen a lot of the Hippodrome. Hopefully we'll see it today. In any case, I think on the map like Gorge, I feel like Jushi's Legacy is going to be a bit tricky to play, right? Because they do like to boom a lot, like to get multiple town centres, but with the direct access that you get with the Byzantines here, right in the middle of the map, it's just completely open. Could be a problem. I feel like the Byzantines could do well to get the Imperial Hippodrome today, in this matchup in particular. I feel like the Grand Winery doesn't really play to the strength in this civilization matchup, because the Byzantines, if they're going to go super late game, sure, olive oil can help them with the mercenaries, but it just feels like the Jushi's Legacy can really pack a punch when it comes to villager count and multiple town centres. Question is, it depends what Lucifron decides to play this, right? Does he actually decide to play multiple town centres? Does he decide to play a heavy feudal age with Chukunu? Of course, they don't even need the Song Dynasty to get Chukunu on the map. So it's going to be the Imperial Hippodrome. Pretty excited to see this actually, because you've actually got three unique texts from this, and I think one of them is going to be, in fact, once it's built we'll go through it, but I believe one is going to be adding a +2 attack on horsemen against villagers, but also giving you +20 gold for every villager you kill. So I generally think that the Byzantines do have aggression in them, and especially with raiding. And the reason why I like this so much is because if Jushi's Legacy are going to be booming with multiple town centres, well, that means there's a lot of villagers to kill. That's a lot of gold that could be coming his way. Meditation Gardens is the landmark that's going to be chosen by Lucifron. They tend to get both landmarks in each age, but we'll see, because the Meditation Garden is a nice spot. It's going to be giving him berries, or food I should say, gold and wood, and stone actually. Holy moly, that's a good position, I've got to say. That'll help him get that second town centre quickly. Interesting enough, going up with 4 villagers on the Hippodrome, so he wants to get there quite quick. Slowly now transitioning onto wood. And you can kind of feel, right, he's going to be going for a horseman play because he's got 6 villagers on food. You'd only expect to have 4 if you're expecting anything different. So he kind of wants that bank of food so that when he does get to that next stage, the feudal age, he should be able to get an early horseman or 2. Yeah, I mean, he's even waypointing his Hippodrome, right? You can see that right on the Meditation Gardens. Now behind this actually, Lucifron going to go for the Jiangnan Tower as well. That's going to give him a unit or 2 when he does get production building. Going to give him the Song Dynasty, making town centres and everything else just that much cheaper. So it does look like Lucifron's going to go for a bit of a boom here with the economy. But here's the Hippodrome with horsemen already queued up almost instantaneously. Going to get double broadaxe as well. I like this build from loueMT. It's getting all important eco upgrades. I feel like the double broadaxe is probably the most important upgrade to get in the feudal age in the early stages of it at least. Because everything you're going to need is going to cost wood. Slowly but surely. Here comes the first horseman. Engages with the scout. Well, at least Lucifron is going to be aware of the situation now. He's going to be aware of that horseman heading across the map. It's going straight for that Meditation Gardens. Holy moly! Thank you, Anonymous, for the gifted subs. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's amazing. 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate that, my dude. So if you guys are watching on YouTube later, I do sometimes, well, I very rarely stream on Twitch, and it might be something I look to do a bit more often. But I really appreciate that. Anonymous as well, so I don't know who it is. Thank you. It's much appreciated. And one thing to mention as well, by the way, the meditation garden is actually going to be not giving him the full benefits here, because he is being attacked, right? So it's a passive landmark, but there's one little detail. Enemy units actually disturb the peace and reduce the resources gathered. So that's kind of something that loueMT will want to try and do and continue to do. It's something pretty important because it looks like he's going to go for that multiple town center play, right? He's got the Imperial official already supervising, but is being harassed. And I wonder whether Lucifron was expecting this, right? We've seen a lot of Grand Winery played by the Byzantines, going to pull away a couple of horsemen. Now, every villager that he does kill here, by the way, I'm not sure if he's got the tech yet. He hasn't yet, but this is the one. You can see every worker he kills gets 20 gold and does get +2 damage against them. Additional damage, that is, of course. Going to look to take out the spearman first. He does take out the spearman. It's a bit of an issue because he does have the Jushi Legacy Town Center, which does a lot more damage on cavalry than other town centers. Does have to back away for now. He's using the Triumph ability as well, which is actually really quite nice. Gives him an increased damage, 25%. Also makes him move faster, 10%, but gives him that health regeneration, right? So it makes this horseman last longer. I generally think there's actually really strong capabilities here for the Byzantines with this landmark. Like, you can imagine, maybe not so much in the early game, but late game even, like, raiding would be incredible. Especially if you get that upgrade that causes +2 damage against villagers extra, and also the 20 gold that you get from it. To be fair though, late game 20 gold, it depends how many villagers you kill, right? That's the thing. Alright, he's going to get that second town center on the stone, which is an interesting choice here. So Lucifron might be going for a third town center. That's a bit greedy. But we can see if he can pull it off. They are cheaper, to be fair. But I like this little bit of detail, like loueMT just keeping a scout here to harass, because it only needs one scout to reduce the amount of food and everything else that's coming in from that meditation gardens. Oh, he's going to dive on the stone. Doesn't take a villager, though. There's enough spearmen here, to be fair, for Lucifron, so it looks like definitely a dynamic in this match so far that the Byzantines are going to be the aggressors. Jushi Legacy are going to look to defend and try and boom up, and then push back maybe in 10-15 minutes once that economy has mounted into something. Going to be getting wheelbarrow as well. But it's definitely a different side, right? We don't often see the Byzantines being the aggressor, but I guess in this matchup you kind of have to be. And we'll see today how well they can do it at. Ooh, okay, well, it's going to be a second town center for the Byzantines as well. So loueMT doesn't want to give away just the huge eco lead that Lucifron will probably get. Now, even with the town center booming, town center nerf rather, it's still a bit difficult to destroy them. Like, you kind of have to get a good number of units, right? So it's going to take a while for Lucifron to be able to be under any sort of pressure. loueMT is going to need a lot more cavalry than this to be able to take out that town center. It's going to need to add in some range units as well. The number of spearmen here looking very healthy for Lucifron. It's getting an outpost as well, just for extra vision. A nice bit of detail, and he has expanded his cistern. Gone up to water level 2. Would love to see a lot more. Maybe up to here, because I don't think these villagers are fully inspired. Might be thinking about getting water level 3. In any case, might be looking to just harass the meditation gardens. I think this actually, it's an interesting one because the meditation garden is actually obviously in a really nice spot, but I'm not sure he's been getting the full resources for quite some time now. And it forces Lucifron to bring his army. Makes him a bit more vulnerable elsewhere. Does get that third town set on the deer pack. This is pretty greedy from Lucifron, I've got to say. Although I haven't said that, loueMT does have a second town center of his own, so overall, not too shabby. He is extending that water level, but it's going to be going out to the deer pack. That's going to be a nice bit of food income for him. He does have a good few Imperial officials as well, just boosting the amount of resources that are coming in for Jushi's legacy. He's got to be careful not to be dragged too far away though, for those spearmen. The horse might cycle around. Lucifron scouting pretty intently just to find out what is going on. It might be the case that loueMT is thinking about Castle Age, actually. He could be thinking about getting that tech up a little bit quicker than Jushi's legacy. He's kind of on his way. He's definitely got that balance right, getting specialized pick as well, and that's going to help him get those relics as well, in particular in the Castle Age if he decides to get there quicker. That tech up could be dangerous. Especially if he goes for the Varangian Guards, actually, because Jushi's legacy might struggle. I mean, he does have access to Chukunu whilst he's in the feudal age. But to be fair, Lucifron probably won't be away from the castle age all that much himself. I mean, he's pretty much on the way. Just needs a bit more gold. Oof, that Imperial official. It'd be nice to be supervising that mining camp right now. Wait, what's going on? Is this a riot? What's going on? These Imperial officials are just chilling. Hello? Alright, well. Alright, this one seems to have fixed that now. So it's going to be the Golden Horn Tower for loueMT. That's going to give him free mercenary units, depending on the amount of influence from the cistern, in terms of speed, rather, at least. Looks like a couple of horsemen coming out for Lucifron. We'll try and get some feudal age pressure, try and deny that gold, but I think there's a case where both civilizations are probably going to go to the castle age pretty soon, and the game has entered that phase where castle age units become a thing. Does go for a longbow, so you can see already the Western mercenary contract has been selected by loueMT. That'll give him access to longbows, lance collector, and also Streltsy in the late game. We'll see if we get to that. Ooh, a couple of villages there, going to be pushed away from gold. There's quite a few horsemen here. That's actually a bit of a problem for loueMT. Doesn't really have the unit numbers that you'd want. Does pull away though, Lucifron. That castle age does come in. He's going to get the veterancy upgrades for those longbows. Mount Lu Academy for Jushi's legacy. That's going to give him some access to really nice techs for the Imperial officials. Going to be increasing the amount how often they collect as well. Lucifron quite ahead on village count, 65 to 50, and there is a timing window here for loueMT, maybe to do some damage if he can just translate a lot of his resources into military and pump hard. But he does need to do something about this boom here for Lucifron, because he's starting to get that villager count to a scary level. Give it another 10-15 minutes, it could become a problem. Lucifron getting to that castle age now. Question is, what does he go for in terms of military, right? He needs to have a think about that. I mean, I hope we see some cataphracts. That's just me being selfish. We do see heavily armored units, right? And I think this is an interesting one because Cataphract is actually a really beefy unit. Look at that. It's 360 HP, 27 sword melee damage. It's a very expensive unit, but does also have that trample ability. I would be expecting to see some crossbow here for Lucifron, at least hoping to. Because pound for pound, the Cataphracts do a lot of damage, and here we go. The damage coming out pretty heavy on that town centre. You could also get the Numerai. Is it the Numerai upgrade? No, it's the Trapezites, yeah. This one's a really good one. It would need scouts, but it would increase the torch damage by 25%. Doesn't need it for this town centre. It does go down pretty quickly. It's pretty low on health now. Only 2,500 HP on this guy, and it can only garrison 7 units. Does lose it pretty quickly, but he's still on 2 town centre, right? So the villager count is looking still healthy. Question is, it looks like Lucifron just trying to build up a number of units before he takes the fight. It looks like he might take it now, though. The Varangian Guards will rip through the spearmen. A couple of lancers, though, for the Chinese. They're going to engage directly on the Varangian Guards. You can see the Cataphract using the charge ability, the trample ability. And it does a lot of damage with them. There's just too much here. Lucifron's going to struggle. A lot of that military is not going to be able to keep that second town centre alive. And this is a problem. The Byzantines coming in with those unit numbers just when he needed to. Lucifron's going to have to head back. He does have a couple of spearmen coming in from the south, but longbows should pick those off if they actually wake up. There we are. He spots them, now does attack them. Now it's going to take that second town centre. This is a problem for Lucifron because I don't think he can hold his position, right? It's only 2,500 HP on this guy, and the amount of torch damage coming out is pretty decent for the Byzantines. Behind this, only down to 1 town centre now. I might have to actually expand on the town centre because he'll be behind. Oof, the longbow actually pick off a lancer on the way back. That's a good pick off. That's a very, very heavy farming transition for Lucifron. It's up and running. He just needs to survive a little bit longer. If he can, he might be okay, but how does he survive against a number of Varangian Guards? It's looking dangerous. loueMT going to take out static defenses now. And if he takes out the production as well, there are 3 stables there, pretty at risk. He's going to take that outpost down. And the stable's going to be next. Looks like Lucifron might be gathering stone again. He's got 6 villagers on stone. Maybe to get another town centre. Of course, he's way off a keep. But the torch damage coming out. It's pretty dangerous. It loses that stable. Now it's starting to pick up those relics as well. And the good thing is that Lucifron behind all this does have 2 of the relics, which is kind of surprising. Under all that pressure, managed to grab 2 relics. The Varangian Guard is going to harass that gold. This is becoming an issue for Lucifron because he's going to struggle to get gold in. Might even lose the Meditation Gardens. I think he does lose that. I don't think there's a way he can push that back. He's getting another town centre. Does still technically have the villager lead, but that military number is looking scary from the Byzantines. Oh, Imperial Official as a death wish. Just passing by. Meditation Gardens is on fire, and well, that's going down for sure. And behind all this, loueMT says, this is my map. I want this half. You can have your half. And he's going to get all 3 sacred sites within those walls, I think. Wait. Yeah, he does, yeah. That's kind of crazy, actually. He might be even activating the sacred site timer. That could be a potential win condition. He's going to take out 2 relics out of the game for Lucifron as well. He does have a decent army here. This could be the engagement he wants, actually. He does have a couple of crossbows on the back line. This could be okay for Lucifron. loueMT might need to back away, but doesn't have the movement speed for it. The longbows do focus on the crossbows as much as they can. Varangian Guards on the Lancers, but it does feel like the crossbows will be stealing the show. The Lancers doing a great job of being a meat shield, to be fair, in that little crevice. And that was definitely suitable for Lucifron. But it does have a couple of spearmen added in here, or I should say Limitane. Limitane just pushing away the Lancers for now. And alright, well, Byzantines have got the message. loueMT doesn't want to dive any further. He's content with the damage he's done and backs off for now. He's getting those all-important upgrades as well. He's building up quite the mass, I've got to say, of units. He's getting Lance Connector as well. He's really using the mercenary contract, right? Really using the longbows and the Lance Connector. I think a lot of them are coming for free, to be fair, because he doesn't actually have that many olive groves to be able to afford that much olive oil. Lancer spots that. The walls are pretty much all up and running now. Pretty safe at home. loueMT is going to concentrate in the middle, I guess. A big push coming in soon, I suspect. Lucifron, though, does have that farming transition, right? This is so strong for that food economy. He's got 44 villages on food. That food economy is going to be looking absolutely madness. It's 1700 here. Trouble for Lucifron, though. He can't camp out in his base forever. The Sacred Site Timer has been activated by the Byzantines, led by a cataphract. Getting insulated helm here. Getting those all-important upgrades. It might be heading into a big fight soon. Now, after all of this, to be fair, Lucifron does have the villager lead, even after losing 2 town centres. Built 4, to be fair. Alright, starting to head forward. Might be losing that Mount New Academy, though. There's a lot of torch damage from these infantry units. I would love to see a nest of bees or 2, to be fair. I've got to say, there's a lot of infantry here that could be taken care of by a couple of siege units. There are Chukunu, there are crossbows for Lucifron. Going to be using those to try and take out the heavily armoured units. He's starting to engage. I think loueMT feels like he wants to put some pressure. The trick is, he does have that Sacred Site timer, right? He needs to be careful not to lose this army. It's really important that Lucifron doesn't let this army push too far forward. But at the same time, loueMT's got to be careful not to lose this army cheaply. Because he does have that Sacred Site timing win condition to fall back to if he needs it. In fact, you probably can go for a landmark snap at this rate. It's got 2 out of 4. But that's a lot of crossbows for Lucifron, and I'm not so sure about this fight for loueMT. He does have a nest of bees there on the hill, and that'll rain hell on those longbows and spearmen and Limitane. Oh, that was a massive shot. The nest of bees might get one more shot out of it. Will he do it? Will he do it? Ah, just about goes down. But kiting with the ranged units here for Lucifron. It's a bit tricky to tell. I think the Lancer's going to reign supreme on that little fight. And they might cycle around on the longbows. Does have a couple of Limitane, but feels like Lucifron should have enough here. Up to 60 military almost. And there's just not enough here. loueMT is going to lose this army, and the one thing I was hoping he wouldn't do is kind of gone undone. He's lost this army, because now this gives the opportunity for Lucifron to maybe decamp a Sacred Site, because he's definitely going to be pushed forward, right? He has to. He's going to ride forward now with this army and chase this army down. And the trouble is with the longbows, just like with the English, if you don't get behind those walls, a lot of them will go down. I think he might just survive with a lot of them, but Cataphract's trying to hold the line and let the longbowmen get home, but they're being sacrificed. Down to 30 military now. I feel like at this point, the way the momentum is going, with that stronger economy, Lucifron might start to push in. Well, I haven't said that. Oh, he's trying to get an outpost here. That's sneaky, sneaky from Louis. Wait, what's going on here? More shenanigans. Yeesh. Well, even after that little bit of aggression coming in the north and the east, Lucifron's starting to head forward with the lancers and crossbows. And it almost feels like it's loueMT's time to defend. He's going to have to. He might lose out on that sacred site win condition now. Yeah, this is looking bad. 84 military for Lucifron versus 46 for loueMT. He's got to hold on as best as he can. Does have a couple of Limitane and a couple of ringing guards. Quite a few cataphracts. I've got to say, the cataphracts might use their trample damage. And if they do, that could do a lot of damage. We shall see if he uses it. He's got to time it to perfection. And he might just on the spearman. Is he going to use it? Might be used on the crossbows. He does use it on the crossbows and gets a lot of trample damage. And there should be a fight that he wins, actually. He pushes us back. Lucifron kind of got a bit too close for comfort. But there is a nest of bees. That could unpack, and it does on those Varangian guards. Does a bit of damage, but here we are, cataphract. The Byzantine economy is starting to come online. It's being able to produce those cataphracts. He uses a cataphract to trample through and take out that nest of bees. The nest of bees might get another shot off. Just no, he moved it. He moved it. He resets the animation. Does get one more shot off, actually, to be fair. That's a good engagement here for Lucifron. Going to pick off that front line, but what's happening on the back? It feels like there's a lot of raiding going on. We'll take a quick look in a second. There we are. Okay, well, loueMT harassing with outposts. Doesn't quite get that one up. Only just, though. On the front lines, the longbow is going to be fighting against the nest of bees. Does take out the nest of bees. Actually quite critical, because the longbows could have been down and out otherwise. Does have a couple of palace guards. That will hold the front lines for Lucifron's Jushi's legacy. For those crossbows to fight on the back of them, but I mean, there's kind of range units versus range units at this point. Lucifron getting a ram or two. Adding that to the mix. I'm not sure that's going to survive for too long. In any case, Lucifron does back away for now. He has deactivated that sacred site in the middle. Oh, he actually got the outpost in the end. He rushed that up. He's going to get the... Ah, there is a ram there for Lucifron, so he should deal with that. I don't think this has been spotted yet for Lucifron. loueMT with the crafty place, but look at the stream of red units. Palace guards. Oh my god, that's a lot of units, guys. That economy, that food economy is looking dangerous. Take a look at the barracks he's got. I'm not supervising any of them just yet. Maybe doesn't really need to be fair. There's a lot more on the back there as well. Now, water level is up to level 5, as you'd expect at this stage of the game. 23rd minute so far. What's going on here? Mangonel on placement in the outpost. It has been fortified as well. More farms? Holy moly. Those villages. I mean, a lot of farms are still empty. Alright, we're getting to that stage of the game where people are starting to reach population cap. 200 almost. Setting a couple of Varangian guards to try and raid. This is actually a big pick off here. Well, there are a couple of outposts that should be able to house these villages. The Varangian guards don't care. They're going for the outposts first, curiously enough. Now he's going to go for the village. He uses the berserking ability. You'll certainly get a couple. Not enough space for these villages, I'm afraid. Yikes. Well, looks like Lucifron's turn to wall up. Oh, he's getting veteran horsemen. I like this addition. Has he got the upgrades? Yeah, he got the upgrades. That means now these guys, these horsemen, are going to get +2 against villagers, but also gather 20 gold for each villager he kills. I think generally has the opportunity to become the most strongest raiding unit in the game. Oh, nest of bees on those crossbows in the back line. That's absolutely a huge shot. 2 of them as well, by the way. I was going to get another shot on them. Does back away just in time. He has to a third one as well. I think the nest of bees are going to dictate the terms of the engagement here at this point. Needs to find some anti-siege solutions here. loueMT. Maybe get a couple of springles or 2. Maybe. It's going to go up to the Imperial Age, though. With the Foreign Engineering Company. Going to be getting some nice additional siege units. We talked about how siege is going to be important for him. Well, he's going to be doing that with the landmark. Going to give him access to the Hui Pow, nest of bees, and the royal cannons. All spent and bought for by olive oil. We might see a nest of bees versus nest of bees. We've seen a Hui Pow, one or two of them with the Byzantines. I'd love to see. Well, hell, what's going on here? All right. Rams don't know where to go. Going to be taking care of these outposts, Lucifron. Just a bit of a pain in the ass. I guess these outposts in the end does take care of them. But now he's in the Imperial Age, and this could be a good time for Lucifron to attack, but it feels like he could just go to the Imperial Age himself, and it's probably the right call to do that. He's got quite the number of Nester Bees. Oh, trying to raid with horsemen. They're heading north. Just looking to try... Oh, he might snap that ram, to be fair. He's got to be careful here, loueMT, not to lose his villagers on gold. Does have the palisades to go behind, though, if he needs to. Uh-oh, Nester Bees. Might be looking to get in position. I'm going to go for the Jushi's Legacy Library first to get to the Imperial Age. Not a bad choice, I don't think. It's going to need that Imperial Age upgrade, right? If he takes a fight now, it could be problematic. Tithe Barn's coming in for loueMT to help with those income with the 3 relics he's got in the bag. He's getting roller shutter triggers as well for the Springolds. He's only got 1 Springold so far. Nester Bees. There are a lot of them. Almost too many to count. There's 5 of them. Oh my god. loueMT, get out of it. He loses a Springold to the Nester Bees. The anti-siege taken out by siege. Louis, get out of there. He takes a massive shot and maybe another. Yeesh. Well, that's one way to force your enemy back. Nester Bees. loueMT is definitely going to need more Springolds. Starting to raid though quite nicely with horsemen. Yeah, you can feel it. It's going to get siege workshops. He needs them. Now is the time to get siege here, Louis. You need to get rid of those Nester Bees, otherwise it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be raiding on the farms as much as he can. I think Lucifron's got to be careful, right? It almost feels like loueMT is gearing up for a massive raiding party. Like you can see that he's rallying horsemen. That could become a problem because late game gold can become an issue. There is a way that loueMT gets that gold with the little bit of raiding bonus, but more importantly, he can rely on a lot on these olive groves and the olive oil. Jushi's Legacy, on the other hand, they're kind of limited to just what the Imperial officials can carry in tax. Not sure that's going to be the most sustainable way to supply this army. Villager's going to get an outpost just for some vision, but also protection on those gold villagers. Does take out a ram. Did take that outpost out though, Lucifron. Oh, another group of horsemen. Got to move through, and he's going to try and raid the farmers. They're pretty exposed. Whilst they do, though, he's starting to gauge on the front. 2 Nester Bees out for the Byzantines. Oh, those horsemen are going to get absolutely smashed by the spearmen and the Nester Bees. Kind of a throwaway unit at this point, I guess. Oh, but this is bad, though. This is actually kind of bad for Lucifron, because I think the horsemen might start to focus on villagers. He only needs a couple just to detract the lancers away. The rest can focus on villagers. Starting to head forward again. Oh, Nester Bees. I mean, they're taking each other out at this point. Horsemen diving in on the spearmen. loueMT struggling for options. Maybe he's going to land select. That could be an option, but a couple of crossbows in behind should take care of those glass cannons. A couple of Springolds adding into the fight. I mean, he's kind of okay, actually. The horsemen will do well now that the Nester Bees have all gone. The crossbows are pretty vulnerable to the horsemen. There aren't that many. And 2 Nester Bees there still remain for Jushi's Legacy. They will push back those crossbows. Maybe not. The Springolds are going to push back the Nester Bees. All of a sudden, Lucifron had to drag a lot of his premium units back, right, to deal with the horsemen. He's lost 60 villagers at this point. Absolute destruction. I think the raiders have done so well for loueMT, which is kind of weird because there's only one angle to attack from. That's in the middle. But the anti-siege coming in clutch here. Those Springolds dishing out so much damage. They can try and get a keep on the front position there. loueMT trying to get a foothold in this game, and that's be a really strong position to get it in if you can. Trouble is, Nester Bees aren't going to help Lucifron anymore, not with this number of Springolds. Sending villagers back out to gold. It's going to need that gold for sure. Oh, there's another group of horsemen raiding. That's absolutely huge because he's drawing out the infantry away from that middle position. He's going to try and get a keep. Oh, I don't think Lucifron you can do that. He's not going to get it up. There's horsemen there. And even if he does, at what cost? Horsemen go straight for the economy, and this constant barrage of horsemen that loueMT is pushing through, it's forcing Lucifron's army to head back home. He has to delete that keep. There's no way that goes up, and instead loueMT is going to get his keep in the front lines, and uh-oh, horsemen going on the gold vein. Lucifron, need to pay attention. These villagers are at risk, and it's going to give him that gold trickle that he will need, loueMT. Not only that, it's going to bring that villager to count down. There's 128 villagers to 96. He's got all the 3 sacred sites for the second time in the game, and his keep should go up. This is looking dicey for Lucifron. I'm not sure how he holds this. He was dragged away from the fight by the horsemen going to the farms, and oh my god, it's an absolute destruction. The palace guards do get there, but they're a little bit too slow. A decimation of villagers on that gold vein. He's trying to get the production buildings to get units out, but he's struggling for food and gold. Cannot say the same for the Byzantines. Got 2,000 food in the bank. Just spent a whole bunch of them. That keep will not go up there for Lucifron. And the nest of bees. There's a nest of bees. That's going to take care of the crossbows. He's going to focus on the villagers, so loueMT might not get that keep up after all, but it doesn't necessarily matter because he's got that stronghold position. He's got a lot of military. 65 to 18. Lucifron, he is struggling, and he's going to be overrun very soon. The Varangian guard's getting involved as well, and he's still being raided by the horsemen and the backline. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Lucifron has been raided to death on the gorge. loueMT coming in with the Byzantines. A lot of aggression from the Byzantines, which we don't often see. So if you're watching on YouTube, hope you guys enjoyed the casted game. Take care, and see you next time.